Right. Good afternoon, everyone, or good morning, depending on where you are in the world. My name is Tammy. I'm the Education Manager from SANCCOB here in Cape Town, South Africa, for the second part of our lesson series. I'm laughing because I'm joined and I'm getting lots of nibbles from our guest star today, Stubby. He's busy. Oh, he's just had a swim, so he's busy giving himself a little bit of a clean. Stubby is an African penguin. But he doesn't quite have the tuxedo just yet because he's still a little bit smaller. Now, Stubby is what we call a blue, and we call African penguins blue once they've lost the fluff that they are born with. So when an African penguin chick hatches, and it comes from quite a small egg, a little bit bigger than a chicken egg, they're going to hatch and they'll be covered with fluff. Once they lose all their fluff, we call them blues because they've got this nice bluish shine to them. Now, little Stubby, he's busy cleaning himself, and maybe you can see over here, he's got a little bit of a bluish undertone to his feathers. And then once Stubby is old enough, once he's 2 years old, he's going to get a little tuxedo, and he'll look like that. Oh, my word. Okay, sorry. What's happened there is I had the YouTube link open. So now it's playing me back to myself. Whoops. Okay, sorry. So once Stubby is 2 years old, he's going to have this little tuxedo. He's probably looking at this guy like, oh, who are you? There we go. He's all right. He's calmed down there. Now, today's lesson is about Stubby, and it's about why he's a special penguin. So I'm going to just keep it on Stubby because we're just going to be talking about him today. Now, little Stubby came in when he was just 2 days old, and he was 87 grams, which is about the weight of a small apple. Now, little Stubbs came in with these 2 small puncture wounds on his back, and what had most likely happened was that he was bitten by a cat. Now, because of this bite, he actually wound up getting an infection, and this caused his flippers to not develop properly. So if I hold up little Stubby, you can see that his flippers are about 5 centimeters too short for his body. So he would really struggle to propel himself in the water. Now, the flippers need to be long for them to propel themselves because it helps them catch fish and it helps them swim away from predators as well. So now, little Stubby, he wound up not getting his flippers to develop properly. So that's why he lives here at SANCCOB with us. And we can see he lives at SANCCOB because he's got 1 tag on the 1 flipper. If he was visiting the hospital as a patient, he would have 2 tags, 1 on each flipper. Now, when Stubby moved to home pen, which is where the penguins live, if they're going to stay at SANCCOB, he didn't actually fit in right away. And the first reason why was because he was much younger than the other penguins. When he moved in, he was only a few months old, and all the other penguins were much, much older than him. So, boys and girls, if you ever feel like where you are, that if you are younger or smaller, that maybe people don't want to listen to what you have to say, you mustn't feel like that. No matter what you're saying or what you're thinking or what you're feeling, it's always important to say what's on your mind. The second reason why Stubby didn't really fit in home pen was because he wasn't a very good swimmer. Now, maybe there's someone in your class where you're watching that's really good at something you're not so great at. So maybe there's someone in your class that's great at coloring in, or they're really good at throwing the ball, or something that you wish that you could be better at. So now we know that even if we are not great at something, it doesn't mean that we're bad at everything. So little Stubby, he's not very good at swimming, but he is better at other things. He's really, really good at making friends. He's really, really good at eating fish, and he's good at dancing. And this brings us to something quite cool about penguins. Now, little Stubby, he's just had lunch. And sorry, he's nibbling my hand. He's giving me kisses the whole time here. But once Stubby's had something to eat, he's going to start doing this. He'll start jiggling around, and it's kind of like they're shaking a little bit. Now, if you guys are watching in your classroom, you should do a little dance with Stubby and shake around with him. Now, when Stubby has had some lunch and he starts to jiggle and dance around like this, it actually helps him digest the fish because the penguin will swallow the fish whole and then they'll jiggle around to help digest the food in their tummy. Now, the third reason why Stubby didn't really fit in when he moved into home pen was because he was bullied by some of the bigger penguins. Now, boys and girls, if we're watching this, no matter where you are in the world, we know that bullying is always wrong. You should never, ever bully anyone. So instead of bullying the other penguins back, instead Stubby tried to be nice to them and he tried to make friends. So if someone is bullying you at school, or if you are bullying someone, you should stop bullying someone. It's really not nice. But if someone is bullying you, then you should tell your teacher or you should tell a parent, and you should definitely try and be nice to the person that's bullying you. Because normally when people bully you, it's because they are feeling sad about something and they just want a friend. So that's part of Stubby's little trip when he went into home pen. And now that some time has passed by, he actually is starting to make some friends in home pen, and he's got a nice little spot that he stays in every day. So what I'm going to do now is, with the class that I have over in Guelph, Ontario, Canada, I've got a grade 1 and 2 class with me of Miss Steinhoff. So hi guys, give a little bit of a wave. Here we go. I see you guys waving. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to share my screen with you guys so that you can see what it's like when we do two of the favorite things for Stubby at SANCCOB, when we give them lots of fish to eat and when they get to go and take a nice swim after lunch to work off their fish. All right, so now we're going to move on to Stubby's next favorite thing to do is, after he's had all this fish, he loves to go swimming. All right. So hopefully you guys enjoyed that and you got to see what it is that little Stubby loves to do here at SANCCOB. And now Stubby and I are going to field any questions that you guys have, and I'm also going to open up the chat. So if there are any classes watching from other places in the world, you're welcome to ask questions as well by typing them through. So just from Stubby, remember what we needed to learn was that with Stubby, it's okay to be born different. It's important that even if you're small and you're young, that your voice does matter and you should say what's on your mind. And if you're feeling scared or happy or sad, you should be able to say it. You should never ever bully anyone. And if someone is bullying you, you should try and be nice to them because they probably just want a friend. And you should tell someone if you're being bullied. And lastly, just because you're not the best at something doesn't mean that you're bad at everything. Everyone has a secret talent that they're awesome at. So I'm going to field some questions now. I'm going to unmute you guys on that side. And Stubby and I are looking forward to answering any of the questions you have.
Okay, Jensen has a question. Are you ready?
Yeah, go for it.
Okay.
How do the penguins live?
Are you asking how long do they live?
That's a good question. Say yes.
Yes.
Okay, that's a very good question. So out in the wild, the African penguin, sorry, he's very happy getting scratches here. Out in the wild, the African penguin lives for about 10 years. But if they stay with us here at SANCCOB and there aren't other predators and things to attack them or anything like that, they'll live about 20 to 30 years. But the oldest African penguin is 43 years old and lives in a zoo overseas. That's a great question. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, we have one from Christina.
Hi. How do penguins swim? How do penguins swim?
Swim. Oh, okay. So they swim with their flippers. They use their flippers to propel themselves in the water. But what's also great is that because of their fat little bodies and their special feathers, they're very buoyant. So they float nicely on top of the water as well. So if they're not swimming, they can float there really, really nicely. And they enjoy just floating around too.
Thank you. Okay, Ryan has a question.
How the fish get the fish underwater?
How do they catch fish underwater? With their beaks. They go,
Thank you. And Charlana has a question.
How do they get hurt?
How do they get hurt? Okay, so a lot of the penguins we get in, they get attacked by other animals, or because of climate change, sometimes there are very, very rough storms at sea, so they get bashed into other rocks and they get hurt that way. But unfortunately, sometimes we do see penguins come in that were hurt by other people. Maybe they get a fishing line caught around their ankle, or they swallow some plastic that wasn't thrown away properly. And we've even had a penguin come in that was shot with a BB gun.
Oh, that's not good. Okay, Helen has a question.
How what do penguins like to do the most?
What do penguins like to do the most? Probably eat. They love eating fish. And they also love just relaxing. You'll see they'll just stand around all day, just relaxing on a rock in a nice sunny spot. They're very, very chilled, very, very chilled animals. Although they do fight a lot with each other.
Okay, thank you. Brooklyn has a question.
How do they get bullied?
How do they get what?
Bullied.
Bullied. Okay. So with penguins, it's very much about how old you are. So Stubby is a blue, right? So he can hang around with other little blues like him on land. But if he goes up to an adult, someone that has their tuxedo on, then he's gonna get really really grumpy. The guy in the tuxedo, the adult, will probably wind up pecking at him. So that's why they get bullied based on how old they are. Normally they stick together because of their age.
Thank you. And Ryan, do you have any questions in your chat box?
I saw one.
Yes.
Okay, did you want to take a chance to answer some of those?
Yeah, I've just got a question here asking how old is Stubby? And Stubby is 6 months old.
Okay, Ryan, you want
So
to
thank you for that question.
right there. Okay, Ryan has a question for you.
How do they talk?
He wants to know how they talk or communicate.
Okay, so penguins, they make a very loud braying noise, which is why the African penguin is actually also nicknamed the jackass penguin, because they've kind of got like this really high-pitched hyena kind of honk when they scream at each other. So Stubby is not honking at me right now, but maybe before the end of the video he will. But they do, so they can talk to each other by honking at each other. They can also tell that they're feeling aggressive. If they start to snake their head at you like this, it normally means that they want to bite you. And then they can also tell you that they like you by preening you. So they'll take their little beak and they'll go nom, 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 with their beak. And they preen you like that as a sign of affection. And also sometimes if they shake their head really quickly, that's also a sign of affection. And it's like, oh, I'm really enjoying that.
Okay, thank you. Boys and girls, does anyone else have another question? Emma, go
Okay,
on
so
up.
let's take one more question, guys.
Okay, Emma's your last question.
What are penguin treats?
Where are penguins what?
What are penguins' treats?
What are their treats? Okay, so penguins don't have different types of treats like we do. They live right by the sea because they want to be close to fish. So Stubby's main food and his special treat and his birthday treat and everything, it's always fish. He loves fish, especially sardines or anchovy.
Thank you for answering all of our questions.
Hey, no problem, guys. So I hope that you enjoyed the lesson, and I hope that you learned a little bit about Stubby and about life in general. So Stubby and I are going to wave goodbye, and hopefully we'll see you again at the next lesson. Bye, guys. Thank you. And if anyone out there is watching and you want to help SANCCOB, you are welcome to visit our site, www.sanccob.co.za, where you can adopt a penguin yourself for your classroom, or you can donate to help us keep saving little stubbies like this every day. Thanks, guys. Have a great day.